Friday morning, March 20th, 2026. Across the country, locker rooms sit empty. Courts are polished, and the air holds a very specific, quiet tension. The women's NCAA tournament is hours away from tip-off. The massive geographic scale of what is about to happen spans half the continent. The first signs of movement begin in the morning light hitting the waiting arenas here in Austin, Texas. From there, the footprint of the first round stretches hundreds of miles north to the University of Oklahoma in Norman. Both of these massive collegiate hubs are bracing for a rapid influx of athletes, fan bases, and television crews. Every single one of the 68 teams arriving at these sites is chasing the exact same standard of excellence. They are hunting a national title, aiming to replicate the towering championship pedigree of programs like UConn, led by a deep roster of all-American talent. But reaching that peak means surviving an incredibly unforgiving environment. Historic runs end without warning in March. Just ask NYU, who saw their staggering 91-game Division III win streak evaporate in a single Final Four loss last year. It is a month defined by finality. Careers conclude and long-standing eras come to a close. Middle Tennessee's legendary coach Rick Insell announced his retirement after 21 seasons, meaning any game he coaches this month could instantly be his last. That finality is why this specific Friday matters. In a few short hours, the theoretical predictions of a 68-team bracket will collide with physical reality, and in that reality, nobody is guaranteed tomorrow. The starting gun fires at exactly 1:30 p.m. Eastern. The live tracker activates, the massive on-the-ground broadcast infrastructure powers up, and the cameras roll. The schedule makers start the day by leaning straight into mathematical tension. They tip off with an 8 versus 9 seed matchup, Oregon against Virginia Tech on ESPN2. It is a statistical toss-up designed to guarantee an immediate, highly competitive outcome. 30 minutes later, the logistical overlap begins. As the clock strikes 2 o'clock, the 11-seed Nebraska Cornhuskers take the floor against the 6-seed Baylor Bears on the main ESPN network. From there, the volume doubles. Between 2:30 and 3 p.m., ESPN News and ESPNU light up with South Dakota State facing Washington, immediately followed by Murray State taking on Maryland. Underneath this complex television schedule, these are intensely physical contests. Highly conditioned athletes are violently fighting through screens, crashing the boards and burning through their energy reserves to keep their seasons alive. By 4 p.m., the extremes of the bracket come into play. A powerhouse number 1 seed like Texas steps onto the court against Missouri State, a 16 seed looking to achieve a mathematical miracle. This rapid-fire afternoon slate forces viewers to process 4 different games at once. Instead of watching a single story unfold naturally, the audience has to navigate a continuous, overlapping barrage of high-stakes finishes. The system hits a breaking point at 5:30 p.m. Just as the afternoon games enter their final, desperate minutes, 2 completely new matchups, Holy Cross versus Michigan and Western Illinois against North Carolina, tip off and crash the timeline. The temperature inside the arena spikes. Thousands of roaring fans are reacting in real time as they simultaneously realize their entire year hinges on the next sequence of possessions. At 6 p.m., a doubleheader hits the schedule. Jacksonville plays LSU on ESPN, while Green Bay takes on Minnesota on ESPNU, pushing the 4-network broadcast capability to its absolute physical limit. This chart shows the staggering data density required to track the evening slate. Every single bar on this timeline represents a live game with rapidly changing scores, mounting foul trouble, and ticking clocks that have to be monitored by the second. Adding to the density, the 7:30 p.m. clash between Colorado State and Michigan State squeezes right into the middle of this already saturated map. Finally, the tracking peaks with the dual 8 o'clock primetime games. Tennessee locks up with NC State, while Villanova meets Texas Tech. For a fan sitting at home, trying to watch all of this creates a deliberate sensory overload. You are constantly switching channels, reacting to buzzer beaters on one screen while an upset brews on another. The evening block is built to exhaust everyone involved. It throws an overwhelming amount of basketball at the audience, intentionally testing the physical limits of the players and the attention span of the people watching them. Eventually, the frenzy burns itself out. By 10 p.m., there is only one game left on the board. the 13-seed Idaho versus the 4-seed Oklahoma on ESPN. When the final buzzer of that nightcap sounds, the atmosphere across the country completely shifts. The frantic kinetic energy of 16 overlapping games suddenly drains away, leaving quiet arenas and empty locker rooms. This bracket shows the brutal math of opening day. 32 teams played. 16 watched their slots turn gray, their hopes permanently terminated. The remaining 16 stay illuminated, their reward brief, only the right to keep playing. The psychological toll on those surviving athletes is immense. They have to immediately shake off the physical exhaustion of a grueling 40-minute battle and prepare for round 2 in less than 48 hours. Day 1 of the NCAA tournament violently cuts the field in half. It strips away the weakest teams immediately, setting a ruthless, uncompromising tone that will define every remaining minute of the chase to a national title.